Hey, I am Tracy and this is Yoga Sculpt. So in our Yoga Sculpt class today, we are going to use a resistance band. So if you don't have a resistance band, go ahead and order yourself one and then check me out when you have one. If you do have one, go ahead and grab it and tune back in. For our class, we'll need that resistance band. You'll need your mat. Perhaps you would like a blanket. I always have my blocks ready whenever I am practicing yoga, and I would recommend some water because we will get moving. So in Yoga Sculpt, we are going to base it around yoga and all of the poses that we know in yoga, but then we are going to move and we are going to sculpt those muscles. So we're going to get started today in a nice comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe you're sitting up on a meditation cushion, maybe or on a blanket. Maybe you're sitting up on some blocks. Perhaps you're just sitting on your mat. Maybe you're sitting back to your heels in hero's pose. And if seated is not comfortable for you due to maybe some tight hamstrings or low back pain, then please know that you are more than welcome to lie down on your mat, and then when we switch to our first pose, you just join us then. So we will get started in that comfortable seat. And let's just begin to close the eyes. If you don't feel comfortable with the eyes closed, then go ahead and just have a soft gaze towards the floor. I'll just begin to slow down and settle in. Drawing our attention to our physical body. Noticing how it feels, maybe doing a quick body scan. Noticing any places in the body that perhaps feel tight or feel like they may have a little kink. Just places that aren't quite ready to get moving. And feel free to invite some gentle movement into your body right here, just to kind of work through the body. We're not forcing anything. We're just noticing, trying to settle in, find comfort. If you feel as though you are not quite here in this moment, maybe you're worried about something that's going on later in your day or something that already happened in the past, and maybe you're feeling a bit flighty, then perhaps you face your palms down, right, to help ground yourself. But if you're feeling present and you are in this moment, right, you're ready to do this practice, then perhaps your palms are faced up. Either way is great. It doesn't really matter which one. Just do which one calls to you. We're sitting up nice and tall. And we'll begin to bring our attention to our breath. We're just noticing the breath. We're not trying to change it. Just following it. Using it as a tool to help us be right here in this moment. Watch the breath go in through the nose, filling the body, and it exits back out through the nose. Take a moment here to think of 3 things that we are grateful for in this moment. Once you've listed those 3 things in your head, let's begin to deepen the breath. Inviting the breath deep down into the belly, allowing the belly to press out. And the chest rises and the collarbones rise. And as we exhale, the collarbones fall, the chest falls, and the belly button pulls back towards the spine. Noticing how the breath is cool on the way in and warm on the way out. Slowing the breath down with each inhale and exhale. Let's take 3 more nice, long, deep breaths here. Bring the hands to touch in front of the heart. We'll set an intention for our practice today. Whatever is calling to you, perhaps that intention has something to do with being physically capable, being strong, being determined, honoring your body. Whatever the intention is, let's just say it to ourselves a few times here. We're going to circle sweep those arms up overhead as we inhale and repeat that intention to ourselves one last time. Hands to touch overhead. As you exhale, say that intention one last time. Seal it in. Nice. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, reach. This time that right hand's gonna come down. Inhale, reach up a little bit higher with that left, and then reach over the right side of the body. Finding a nice side stretch in that left side body. Maybe your gaze is looking up towards the ceiling. Maybe it's straight ahead. Maybe it's down at the floor. Inhale, reach both arms up, and let's move to the other side. So lower that left hand with the exhale. Inhale and reach. Exhale, stretching over. Inhale, both arms up. We'll take a twist to the right. So bringing your left hand to the front, your right hand to fingertips in the back. Inhale, reach both arms up, and we'll twist to the other side. Nice, gentle twist here. Perhaps that hand is reaching for the knee. Right hand reaching for the left knee. Reaching both arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's come to all fours here. So moving any props you may have had out of the way and making your way to all fours. We'll start with some cat and cow. So let's find a nice table pose. So we have the wrists right below the shoulders. Those hands are shoulder distance apart. The knees are hip distance apart, and the hips are stacked right over the knees. We'll make our way into cow pose first. So we're tipping those hip points forward, finding that arch in the back, and the gaze goes up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, start to tuck the tail Rounding the back, sending that upper back up towards the ceiling, tucking the chin to the chest. Working with your breath, you're closing your eyes. Inhale your way into cow pose. And exhale into cat. Starting at the base of the spine, inhale into cow. Moving with the breath and exhaling into cat. Head chin tucks to the chest as we empty the lungs. One more round here. And we'll meet in a neutral spine. We'll start with some spinal balance here. So for our spinal balance, let's send that right leg back. We're lifting it straight back behind us. It's hip height. And then peek behind you and make sure all 5 toes are faced straight down at the floor. We want to make sure those hips are still parallel to the floor. You don't want to let that right hip pop up at all. Engage the core. Keep yourself strong. Protect the back. And now if it's in your practice, go ahead and reach forward with that left hand. Thumbs are faced up like you're going to shake the hand of a person in front of you. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down. Switching sides. So we'll send the left leg back this time, keeping those hips square to the floor. All 5 toes are faced down towards the mat. Core is engaged, reaching that right arm forward if you can. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down. So let's move in and out of this. So right leg, left arm. Inhale to reach. Exhale to lower. Switching sides. Inhale to reach. Exhale and lower. Keep the core engaged. Last one here. And let's find child's pose. So you have options for child's pose. Maybe you have the big toes to touch and the knees are spread out wide. That's going to allow your belly to sink down towards the mat, working you more into your hips. If you take the route of the big toes to touch and the knees together, that means your belly is going to rest on your thighs. So you're rounding your back more, which can feel really good for low back. And then you have lots of options with your arms. You can stretch those arms out nice and long. You can have the forearms lifted up off the mat. This is a very active child's pose arm stretch. You can have those forearms down and reaching, not quite as active. And if your shoulders are something that's bothering you or you just need to give them a break, then go ahead and bring those hands back by your sides. Just breathing here. This is your rest pose, so at any time throughout our practice, if you need a rest, this is a great place to go. Let's reach those arms long if you had them tucked back by your side. And we're going to make our way into a plank pose. So for plank pose, again, we want the hands shoulder distance apart and we want the shoulders stacked right over the wrists. Think about finding a straight line from the crown of the head down to the heels. Pulling the belly button in and up. So pulling it in towards the spine and then up slightly towards the ribs. Engage the core. Be nice and strong here. From here, we're going to bend those knees. Hover them a couple inches over the mat. Don't let them touch. Send the belly back towards the thighs. Straighten the legs and lower the heels. Maybe you have a bend in your knees, that's fine. Your feet can be hip distance apart. They can be closer together. They can be as wide as the mat. Whatever feels right for you. Spreading the fingers nice and wide, letting the head hang between the biceps. Roll it forward into plank. Start to bend the knees, hover them over the mat. Send the belly back towards the thighs, lift those hips, and lower the heels. Finding any movement or stillness you need here in your down dog. Settling in. Exploring the pose. Maybe you're coming up onto tiptoes and then lowering the heels. Finding stillness wherever you are. Rolling it forward into plank. So you shouldn't have to move your hands and feet between plank and down dog. That should be your spacing for your down dog, right where you are for plank. Let's take an inhale here. Exhale, start to bend the knees and hover. Bring the belly back towards the thighs. Inhale, lift those hips. And exhale, lower the heels. Inhale, roll it forward into plank. Exhale as you begin to bend the knees, send the belly back towards the thighs. Inhale, lift those hips, and exhale, lower the heels. Do one more round, follow your breath. Come back forward into plank and lower down to the knees. You can bend those or cross those ankles behind you. We're going to move into chaturanga push-ups here. So think about keeping the elbows tight into the sides. Right? So from here, let's take an inhale. Exhale, lower halfway down, chaturanga. The arms come to a 90-degree bend. Press it up with your inhale. Again, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, press it up. One more, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, press it up. This time we're going to lower all the way down to our mat, nice and slow. Straighten those legs out behind you. So if your hands aren't back by your ribs, go ahead and move them back by your ribs. We'll find our low cobra here. So squeeze the shoulder blades behind you. Inhale and lift. Little to no weight in the hands here. Exhale and lower. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale and lower. Last one. Inhale, lift. And exhale and lower. Let's press back like we're going to come into child's pose. Don't move your, we're going to come through cat pose and then into child's pose, but don't move your hands or your knees. We may not make it all the way into child's pose, and that's okay because we're coming right back forward. So that would be one option for your vinyasa flow, would be a low cobra. So come back in to that modified plank pose, and here comes our high cobra. So we'll start with some chaturanga push-ups first. So inhale here, exhale halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, press it up. Exhale halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, press it up. One more, exhale halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, press it up and lower yourself down to your mat, nice and slow. Straighten those legs out behind you. So now this time we're going to come into our high cobra, which means we're using those arms, those triceps. So inhale, lift it up till your arms are almost straight, but not quite. Exhale and lower. Again, inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. Last one. Inhale, lift. And exhale and lower. Let's make our way back through all fours, round the back like you're going to go into cat, sink back towards the heels. Child's pose. And we're coming right back forward. So this time you have the option to come into a regular plank. You can stay in your modified plank, but then you wouldn't be making your way into your up dog. You could come all the way down to your mat, but you won't go from your chaturanga straight into your up dog. So find that high plank if you want to. If you need to stay in a modified plank, that's fine as well. All right, so from here, we're going to come forward onto the toes, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, press it up. This time we'll lower halfway down, chaturanga. And this time we're going to flip those feet and come into our up dog, which means those arms are straight and the thighs and hips are lifted off the mat. Curl the toes and make your way into down dog. So that is your third option for your vinyasa flow. A fourth option for your vinyasa flow would simply be to come straight into down dog and skip that whole flow. Another option would be child's pose. Finding any movement or stillness you need here. All right, let's look up towards the hands and walk your feet to your hands. Forward fold. Think about inviting the belly down to the thighs. So we have our feet maybe hip distance apart, maybe even farther. And we want to think about the bend coming from the hip crease rather than a rounding of the spine and straight legs, right? So think about getting the belly down to the thighs. Bend the knees as much as you need to. And just let the head hang heavy. Inviting some of the weight into the balls of the feet, allowing gravity to pull that upper body down. We'll move into our half lift. So inhale, slide the hands up the shins, flatten the back. It's like you're looking over the edge of a mountain cliff. Exhale and fold. Connecting breath with movement. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Do one more with your breath. Let's reach and rise all the way to the top as we inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, we are going to get started with some sun salutations. We'll get the body warm. We'll find some of the poses. I'll give you some of the fundamentals of the poses that we're going to use throughout our practice today. All right, here we go. So let's start. Our feet are hip distance apart, hands to touch in front of the heart. Inhale, circle, sweep those arms up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Let's step it back with the left foot. So we're going to find a high lunge here. All 10 toes are face forward, back heel is lifted. Your option of arms, you can have your hands on your hips, you can have your hands to touch in front of your heart, you can reach those arms up towards the ceiling. From here, we're going to make our way into Warrior 3. So for Warrior 3, we start to bring the weight all the way into that right leg. We're dragging that back leg in. And we're finding our Warrior 3. So you can have your hands to touch in front of your heart. You can bring your hands back by your sides. We're going to have our hands back working our triceps. If you need to have blocks, you can have blocks. And if Warrior 3 is not possible for you, then you can simply stay in that lunge. You can lean forward and you can work from here, right? So let's lower down back into that lunge. Bring the hands down to frame that front foot. Step the front foot back. Plank, top of a push-up. Here's your vinyasa flow. So you're either going to do low cobra, high cobra, or up dog. So find a chaturanga push-up. Lower down. Lower all the way down or make your way into up dog. And then find your down dog. Let's step that left foot forward. Finding that high lunge. All 10 toes face forward, back heels lifted. Finding your arms. Think about being on train tracks rather than a tightrope, right? So you are a little bit more stable. And then from here, you'll start to draw the weight into the left leg, drawing that back leg in, and finding your Warrior 3. Lower back down into that high lunge. Bring the hands down to frame the front foot. Step the back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach those arms up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Stepping back with that left foot. We're coming into warrior two, so you're going to take the heel of your left foot and drop it down to the right, and then circle those arms open. So you should have the arch or the heel of the right foot in line with the arch of the left foot. We have a nice bend in that knee. That knee is working out so that the leg is externally rotated, and the knee is working out towards the little toes. Engaging that back leg. That left leg is nice and engaged. It's working. Reaching those arms long in that position. Cartwheel the hands to frame that front foot. Step the right foot back. Plank, top of a push-up. Find your vinyasa flow here. I'll walk through one with upward facing dog. So inhale forward onto the toes. Exhale halfway down chaturanga. Elbows are tight into the sides. Inhale, find your up dog. And exhale into down dog. Taking that left foot and stepping it forward in between the hands. Help it there if you need to. This time that right heel is dropping down towards the left. Cartwheeling those arms open. Reaching those arms long in opposition. Checking your stance. Making sure you're safe. Cartwheel the hands to frame the front foot. Step the back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last round here. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step it back to plank, top of push up. Find your flow, come straight into down dog or find a child's pose. Moving with your breath. Looking up towards the top edge of the mat, jump or walk or hop your feet to your hands, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, grab a drink if you need to grab a drink, and then we're going to get started. So we're going to start right here at the top edge of our mat. You are going to grab your resistance band, and we're going to place the resistance band around the feet. So we are going to move in and out of crane to start. So you'll have the resistance band on your feet, and then we'll bring the hands to the hips or the hands to touch in front of the heart, and we're going to move in and out of crane pose, right? So we're going to try to keep that 90-degree bend at that knee, and then we'll just start to work into that leg. We'll draw the core in to help us lift, okay? All right, so get your band around your feet. Come to standing at the front edge of your mat. We're going to work the left leg to start. So all of the weight is coming into the right leg. Your choice where your hands are going. And now come up to the tiptoes on the left feet, on the left foot, not the left feet. And from here, we're going to draw that leg up and down. Up. Tap it down to the front just a little bit. Up and down. Up and down. Look at something that's not moving to keep your balance. You've got 4, 3, 2. Last one. Hold it up there. Lower it down nice and slow, nice and controlled. All right. So we'll move right into the other leg here. So this time we're going to put all the weight into the left leg. We're going to come to tiptoes on that right foot, right? Engage the core, and here we go. We lift and lower, lift and lower. If you would need to move to a wall or somewhere where you can hold your balance a little bit better, feel free to do that. Remember to keep that gaze somewhere that's not moving. That'll help. And then pull the belly button in and up, back towards the spine and up to the ribs. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, you're going to hold it up there. Lower it down, nice and slow. Nice job. All right, bring the hands to touch in front of the heart. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale and fold. Go ahead and grab that band and remove it. We're going to step back to plank, top of a push-up. Find your vinyasa flow, or feel free to skip that, move into down dog or child's pose. Inhale forward onto the toes. Exhale halfway down or all the way down. Inhale into the back bend of your choice. Low cobra, high cobra, up dog. And exhale into down dog. Let's lift that left leg behind us. You're coming into your 3-legged dog here. Think about keeping those hips square to the floor. Take your inhale here. Exhale, draw the knee into the chest as you bring the weight over those wrists. Inhale back. And exhale, knee to chest. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to chest. Last one, inhale back. Exhale, knee to chest, and then try to step that foot forward. Help it there if you need to. Grab your band and come up to that high lunge. So we are moving into warrior 3 with our triceps. So the band is coming around your wrists, behind your back, right where you would wear a watch. Think about squeezing those shoulders behind you. So again, you have the option to stay here and just lean forward, lift those arms up, and you're going to pulse the arms out, and you'll feel, we're going to lift them up, and we're also going to pulse them out. So you'll feel those triceps start to work, or you have the option to come into your warrior 3. So if you're coming into your warrior 3, drag that back foot in, lifting the leg, lifting the arms, and we're going to start with the arms lifted as high as they can get, and pulse those arms out. Pulse and pulse, pulse and pulse, pulse and pulse, pulse and pulse, pulse and pulse. You've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower back down into that high lunge. Take the band off of the wrist behind your back. We're moving straight into our warrior 2. So dropping that right heel down to the left, finding your warrior 2, and then we're going to use the band and do bow and arrow. So for our warrior 2, take the band and place it around your left thumb, right? And then you're going to bring your right hand into the band. You'll send that left hand out. So it's like you're stopping something in front of you. Sinking down into your warrior 2, begin to pull that band back like you're shooting a bow and arrow. Pull it back. 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 4, 3, 2, last one. Hold it back there for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it in nice and slow. All right, let's cartwheel those hands down to frame the front foot. Step the back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right, one side done. Let's do the other side. So this time, instead of bringing the band around your feet, you're going to step into the band so that it's about at your shins. Right? So this time what we're going to do is stand with our feet hip distance apart. You can bring your hands to your hips, and then we're going to extend those legs back. It's nice and controlled. You find where the band feels good. I'd say it's a little bit lower than halfway up the shins for me, but you decide what works best for you. That's where we're headed, okay? All right, so come to standing at the top edge of the mat, hands on the hips, core is engaged. Let's put all of our weight into the left leg, and we'll start right this time. So this time we'll send that right leg back. It's going back on a slight diagonal. So right towards the back corner of your mat, we send it out and in, out and in, out and in. So feel that in the glutes. Feel that coming up that low back on the side of the low back. Stretch it out. Try not to kick. Just stretch it out. You've got 4, 3, 2, last one. All right, we'll move to the other side here. So all the weight's coming into the right leg, and the left leg's going to come back behind us. On that diagonal, here we go. It's back and in, back and in, back and in, back and in. It's a nice controlled movement. Stretching the band, back and in. You've got 4, 3, 2, last one. Lower it down. Bring the hands to touch in front of the heart. Inhale, reach those arms up, and exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Let's take that band out. All right, we'll step it back to plank, top of a push-up. Find your vinyasa flow, skip your vinyasa flow, whatever feels right for you. Listen to your body. If you're moving with me, inhale forward onto the toes and exhale halfway down or all the way down. Inhale into the back bend of your choice, low cobra, high cobra, up dog. And exhale into down dog. All right, this time we're going to lift the right leg behind us. 3-legged dog. Take your inhale here. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, draw that leg back. And exhale, knee to chest. So the shoulders stack over the wrists. Inhale, draw it back. Exhale, knee to chest. Let's do 2 more. Draw it back. Knee to chest. Last one, draw it back. Knee to chest. Now see if you can step that leg right up through there. If you can't, again, just help it there. Grab your band and find your high lunge. So think about getting that band behind your back, around your wrists. Your choice here to stay right here in this lunge. Lean it forward. This time we're going to lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, right? So your choice where you want to be. Or if you're ready for your warrior 3, start to draw that back leg in. Think about keeping those hips square to the floor. And here we go. We lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep that band tight and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. You've got 4 and lower. 3, lower, 2, lower, last one, lift it up, pulse it out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down, take the band off the one wrist, find your warrior 2, so drop that left heel down to the right. Think about keeping those hip points parallel to the floor. So this time the band is coming over the right thumb, and then you're bringing the left hand in the other end of the loop. So your thumb's coming up, your fingers are going down, right? Find that warrior two, bring out that stop sign with that right hand and start to pull and back, pull and back, pull and back, pull and back, pull and back. Nice and slow. Control the movements. We pull and back. You've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in nice and slow. Cartwheel those hands to frame the front foot. Step the back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, reach and rise. Find a little back bend at the top if it feels good. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, we are gonna move into some cardio. Sorry, I gotta keep myself hydrated. So we're gonna move into some cardio here. So we're gonna do alternating side lunges, which means we're gonna start in the center of our mat. We're gonna step it out and sink into that knee, back to center. Step it out, back to center. Join me when you can. Ready? Out and back to center. Out, back to center. Really push into that leg to get you back to center. You should feel this in your inner thighs. You should feel this in your glutes. Get the heart rate moving. See how low you can get. We're going to do 4 more on each side. There's 3. There's 2. Last set. And back to center. All right, we'll move into our goddess. So for goddess, go ahead and grab your band again. And we're just gonna step it out wide on the mat. So the toes are out, the heels are in. We'll bring our band over our wrists again. And now this time we'll work our deltoids, so our shoulders. So we're gonna move in and out of goddess, so we'll get the legs involved too. So we're gonna come into goddess, give it 3 pulses. Lift it up, down, 3 pulses, and stand it up. Here we go. Lower, pulse, pulse, pulse. Lift, lower, pulse, pulse, pulse. Stand it up. Down, 1, 2, 3. When you lift, keep that band tight. Lower, 1, 2, 3, and up, down. Lift, lower, pop, pop, pop. Down. How about stand up and lift? Lower. Let's get into those legs a little bit more and stand. So we lower down and we pulse, and then we stand it up. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Get a little bit more movement. You are doing great. You are almost done with this workout. Let's do 2 more rounds through. Keep that band tight when you lift it. Last one. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Hold it here. Pulse it. Pulse, pulse, pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Release the band. Bring the band just down by the side of your mat. We're gonna come down. Actually, you know what? Let's just do it like this. Let's put the band over our feet. No, that's not gonna work, sorry. My apologies. So let's start, let's come to the top edge of our mat. We're gonna come back. We'll do 1 more vinyasa flow. We're moving into mountain climbers. So we need the band close by so that you can get them back on your feet, but we'll get it on there. All right, he's coming up to the top edge of the mat, hands to touch in front of the heart. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Step it back to plank, top of a push-up. Vinyasa flow, or take a child's pose, or move straight into your down dog. Move with your breath. Move with intention. Just hanging here in your down dog for a moment. A great way to get rid of a heat that you are building up is to take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Let's grab that band and walk the hands back to the feet. Stay in that forward fold if you can, and bring the band over your feet. Just like we started with in that crane. So we're going to walk the hands back out to plank, top of a push-up. And this is where we're going to start our mountain climber. So find that nice strong plank here. So we're going to start just by drawing those legs in, right? So let's bring the left knee to the left elbow, right knee to right elbow, left knee to left elbow, right knee to right elbow. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Child's pose. Removing the band however you can, however gracefully or not so gracefully. You made it through. We're going to do a couple of quick stretches, and then we'll make our way into Shavasana. So let's start by coming up into our down dog. So find your plank pose, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. We're moving into pigeon pose. If pigeon is not accessible for you, you can always do your figure 4 stretch on your back. So I'll move into pigeon pose, and then I'll show you figure 4 in case that doesn't work. So for our pigeon pose, let's lift that left heel behind us, left leg behind us. And then draw that left knee into the chest. And then we'll set the left ankle down behind the right wrist. And start to settle into this pose. So if you have a blanket or a block or a yoga or a meditation cushion and you want to fill the space, you want to think about keeping those hips square to the floor. So let's sit up first to start. Just releasing any tension. Trying to melt into this pose, letting go of anything you're holding on to. And then if you would like to, we'll slowly begin to lower. So you want to grab a block if you have one, or you can stack your fists, or you can make a pillow out of your hands. You want to rest your forehead on something just so that your body knows that it's okay to let go. Maybe you can just bring your forehead to the floor. That's up to you. Just releasing into this pose. And if pigeon pose is not accessible for you, you could lie on your back with your knees bent, and then take that left leg and cross it over the right knee, flexing the feet to keep the knees safe. And then you can draw the knees in towards your chest and hold behind the back of that right thigh. Maybe you're using the left elbow to push the left knee away from you, right? And you can play here. You can kind of sway side to side, and you'll feel where you feel that muscle start to stretch. Whatever version of this pose you are in, you want to think about breathing, using a sinking breath.
So it's maybe a 2 to 4 ratio. So if you're breathing in for a count of 2, you're breathing out for a count of 4. Letting go. We'll hold here for 2 more breaths. And then we'll bring the hands back underneath the shoulders, lifting ourselves up. Curling the back toes onto the mat and making your way back into down dog, finding any movement or stillness that you need here in this down dog before we move to the other side. When you're ready, you're going to send that right leg behind you for your 3-legged dog and then draw that right knee into the chest. This time the right ankle is setting down behind the left hand. Sitting up first, filling any space if you need to. Releasing into this. Think about keeping those hips square to the floor. And if you'd like, folding over, finding a place to rest your head. Whether it's on a block or on your hands, on another blanket, on the floor. Think about where you can soften the body, where you can let go of where you're holding on to. Find that sinking breath, that 2 to 4 ratio. Try to embrace the stillness. It can be difficult and maybe this side is harder than the other side or vice versa. But try to be still. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, pressing yourself up. We're going to sit right onto that right hip. And then we'll find a straddle. Again, finding a block if you need to. Sending those legs out nice and wide. And then starting to fold forward again, finding 1 block, finding 2 blocks, finding whatever you need to rest that forehead down. Breathing here, following that breath, keeping you in the present moment, finding some softness in the body, working your way deeper into the pose. Slowly rising up. We're going to make our way down to our backs. We'll find a bridge pose here. So let's have those knees bent, feet are flat on the mat. The feet are hip distance apart, bringing the hands down by the sides. Start by tucking that tail and then lifting up to the top of your bridge, 1 vertebrae at a time. Pressing into those feet, keeping the ribs knit together. You don't want the ribs to pop out. breathing. Slowly lowering on your next exhale. We're going to stretch out long on our mat. Our heels are hanging off the bottom corners of the mat and our arms are hanging off the top corner of the mat. We're going to do a couple rounds of star abs before we settle into Shavasana. So take your inhale here. Exhale, bring that left arm and right leg up towards the ceiling. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Lower down as you inhale. Switching sides. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Keep switching sides. Moving with your breath. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. One more on each side. Lower it down this time. Exhale everything into the center. Come into a nice ball. Keep the knees into the chest. Lower the head, neck, and shoulders. Bring the arms out to the side. And then let those knees fall to the left. If it's comfortable, maybe your gaze is looking over to the right. Big inhale here as you draw your knees back up to center. And then exhale, let those knees fall over to the right. Just let them fall. Let them become heavy. Maybe your gaze looks over the left shoulder now. Come back to center. We'll move into a happy baby. So for happy baby, we're bringing our hands in between the knees. We're holding on to either the insides or the outsides of the soles of the feet. The soles of the feet are straight up towards the ceiling. We have a great big bend behind those knees. If this is not accessible, you can always hold on to the backs of the calves, or you can even hold on to the backs of the knees. Whatever works best for you. When you're ready, we'll slowly make our way into Shavasana. So whatever that looks like for you, maybe you're stretched out long on your mat. Maybe you have the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. If you want any props, any clothes, any blankets, anything, go ahead and grab them. We're just going to take a few moments here just to lay still and quiet. Just to soak in the effects of our practice. Slowly begin to reawaken the body, inviting any gentle movement back into the body. When you're ready, rolling to your right or left side. Just take a moment to revisit that intention you set at the beginning of our practice. Thank yourself for making your way to your mat today, taking the time for yourself. And when you're ready, keeping the eyes closed or a soft gaze at the floor, begin to press yourself up and find a nice comfortable seat. Bringing the hands to touch in front of the heart, bowing the chin to the chest. I thank you so much for practicing with me today. May you go forward in peace. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to catch you again soon. Have a great day. Bye.